Okay, so let's have a look at question number one. Okay, question one, it says, what is the value of x that makes this equation true? So we've got 3x squared plus 5x minus 1 equals to negative 3. If I take the negative 3 across, it becomes positive 3. And so 3x squared plus 5x minus 1 plus 3 equals to 0 becomes 3x squared plus 5x minus 1 plus 3 is 2. And so what we need to do now is solve this or factorize this if possible. Now these answers look like whole numbers. So let's start with 3x times x because that's going to get me x squared, right? And 2 and 1. So I can put 2 over here, 1 here, or I can put 1 here and 2 here. If I put 2 here and 1 here, I can do a quick test and see if the middle term ends up as 5x. And at the moment, 3x plus 2x definitely 5x. So this has to be plus to get plus 2x. And this has to be plus to get plus 3x over there. So that means from here, I can take 3x plus 2, make it equal to 0, or x plus 1 and make it equal to 0. And so after solving for x over here, I would get negative 2 over 3, and x equals to negative 1. So it says what is the value of x that makes this equation true? It doesn't say both values, so definitely minus 1. So the correct answer will be A. Okay, let's go to question number 2 now. Let's see what this is all about. Question number 2 says, what is the difference between the biggest 4-digit number and the smallest 5-digit number? All right, that's pretty interesting. How do we tackle a question like this? Where do we start from? Right, what is the difference between the biggest 4-digit number? What is the biggest 4-digit number? That would be getting each value to maybe, let's say 9, right? Would that be the biggest? Yeah. And what is the smallest 5-digit number? 1? No, that's one digit. Could be 1, what, 10,000? Because if I go 1 less, it goes there, right? What is the difference between the biggest 4-digit number? What does difference mean? Subtract, right? So shall we take 10,000 and subtract 999? And so the answer is 1. What do you think? You think that's correct? Seems pretty simple, right? Let's see if there's any loopholes. What is the difference between the biggest 4-digit number, definitely 999, and the smallest 5-digit number, definitely 10,000? And we know 999 plus 1 gives you 1. All right, I think there's nothing to it other than that. Let's move on to question number. So this one's correct. All done. Let's go to question number 3 now. Apart from 1 multiplied by 2019, what other pair of numbers multiply to 2019? Okay, let's think about that now. All right, so let's start by maybe taking, now we know what this means. This means basically saying that, well, 2019 divided by 1 is equal to 2019. So therefore, 2019 is equal to 1 times 2019. 2019 divided by 2, not possible. Is 2019 divisible by 3? And the question is, yes, it is. It's through 673. So therefore, 2019 will equal 673 times 3. Its other pair looks like it's the first one we got. There might be another one, who knows, right? But for now, we're just saying, save time, that's the answer. Okay, all right. Okay, let's clear out this side. Okay, let's continue on to question 4. Question 4 says a right angled triangle has sides of 5 centimeters, which is this small side because this is 12 centimeters and this is 13 centimeters. What is the area of this triangle? Well, area of any triangle is given by base times height divided by 2. So this is my base, this is my height, and so that'll be 12 times 5 divided by 2, which is 60 divided by 2, which is 30 centimeters squared. The units is pretty important, the numbers and the formula, and we're done. And it's a right angle triangle. Nothing else to this question. Question 5. There are 4 rabbits in a garden. Okay. Between them, they eat 20 carrots. Each rabbit eats a different amount of carrots. So this could be X, Y, Z, and let's say 2. These 4 amounts are even numbers. So you can divide it by 2. How much could each rabbit have eaten? What are we actually saying here? We're saying that we got 4 numbers. They are even numbers that add up to 20. 2 plus 4 is 6, 6 plus 6 is 12, 12 plus 8 is 20. I just guessed that. Starting with the even number, 2. So if the first rabbit eats 2, the second one eats 4, 6, and then 8. That's the first even number, 2. Well, positive number, right? There are 4 rabbits in a garden. Between them, they eat 20 carrots. Each rabbit eats a different amount of carrots. That looks right. These 4 amounts are even numbers. How much could each rabbit have eaten? Sounds good. 2, 4, 6, and 8. Alright, that takes us to question number 6. Question number 6 was rated the most difficult on this page. Let's have a look. Question 6 says the operation at is defined as A at B is given by A over B plus B over A. And it says find 5 at 15. Well, should we just substitute A over there, B over here, and then likewise this is going to be A and this is going to be B, which means we'll get 5 over 15 plus 15 over 5. That means I can get this into a common denominator. Alright, using fractions. That gets me 5 over 15 plus 45 over 15, which gets me 50 over 15. And then I divide by 5, which is going to get me 10, divide by 5, which is going to get me 3. 10 over 3. Does it look right? Maybe. Another way to simplify this, we can double check it. This can multiply by B. This can multiply by A. And this can multiply by B as well. So we can end up with A squared plus B squared over AB. And if that's the case, and if A is 5 and B is 15, then this would be 5 squared plus 15 squared over 5 times 15. 5 squared is 25, 15 squared is 15 times 15 is 215. Over 5 times 15 is 50 plus 5, which is 75. That becomes 220 plus 20 is 240 over 75. 75 goes into 243 times. 3 times 7 is 210. 210 plus 15 is 225. The remainder would be 15 over 75. And 15 can go into 75 how many times? 15 goes into itself once, goes into 60 4 times, goes into 75 5 times. Am I even getting there? 15 doesn't look right. Do you think this answer is correct? 10 over 3. Alright, so it's worth just checking that out. Not sure exactly, but well done for trying if you did get there. I'm going to grab a calculator now just to squeezing all of these numbers in here. Bring this on the calculator quickly, just a second time. Let's see what we got. Alright. 15 squared was my problem there, just 225. Okay, so 5 squared plus 15 squared. Make sure you type it carefully on your calculator. Divided by 5 times 15, which is going to get you 3.33, right? Which is 10 over 3. So that's good. 2 ways of solving and double checking it, maybe you could say that. Alright, and it's my first 6 questions over. So, the first question over here, question number 7. It says, in a group of 5 students, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whose ages add to 64. Okay. The modal age, which means it's the most frequent or repeated age, doesn't say how many times, is 11. And the median is 13, and that's your middle value. Okay, so middle value means that if I put it from smallest, say this was the smallest, and this was the biggest number, then that number over there is 13. Alright, so we still got 2 digits on the left, 2 digits on the right, smaller than 13 and larger than 13. But the mode age, or the modal age, is 11, which means we can only have 2 11s on this side. Alright, so these two numbers have to be different. It can't be 13 because then that becomes the mode, or part of the mode. It definitely can't be 13 repeated because definitely be part of the mode. So it has to be a number like 14, 15, 16, 17, anything else. Alright, so this number over here we don't know, and this number we don't know, but it continues. It says the mean is 12.8. The mean is 12.8. Because this is the modal age, I mean, if you take those two, this is the median. That means that if I take 11 plus x and I divide it by 2, it will come to the middle term. The average of these two gets us exactly in the middle there. And 11 has to be on this side. So that's 26. And if I minus 11 from both sides, I get 26 minus 11. 6 minus 1 is 5, 2 minus 1 is 1, so that's 15. And so x equals 15. So now let's write the sequence. Let's write this. 11, 11, 13, 15, and then y. Now what we have to do is add these up and find out the average, which is going to be equal to 12.8. And so we take 11 plus 11 plus 13 plus 15 plus y. It's going to be equal to 64, right? If you divide it by 5, because there's 5 numbers, this should come to 12.8. Alright, 5 goes into 6 ones, remainder 1 goes into 14 2 times, right? Remainder 4, and it's going to be 12.8, right? So this is what I need to solve. I need to solve that. So I'm going to go 11 plus 11 plus 13 plus 15 plus y over 5 is equal to 12.8. 22, 25, 35, 40, 50. 50 plus y over 5 equals 12.8. And so I multiply by 5 on both sides. Now, if I multiply by 5 on both sides, then what am I actually doing here? I'm actually saying that 12.8, 64 divided by 5 is 12.8. So what's 12.8 multiplied by 5? 64. That cancels out. We're left with 50 plus y, and so therefore y is going to equal 14. Alright, so y will equal 14. But that's smaller. Alright, that's smaller than that number over there. So it's definitely not from smallest to biggest, because whenever we calculate the median, it has to be from smallest to biggest. So 14 should have actually been here. But if 14 is here, then this becomes 25, and that changes the median, right? So is this even possible? Unless they're both 14. Unless 15 is wrong. Alright, so let's think carefully about this. If I trace it all the way back, we got 11, 11, 13, 15, and then 14. And if that's the sequence, let's add it up. 11, let's see if I added to get to 50 correctly. 11 plus 11 plus 13 plus 15. That comes to 50, that's correct. Plus 14 is 64, which is what we want. So we want that to equal that. And the median has to be 13. Now the reason it can't be 14 is because if it's 14 and we put it in smallest to biggest, then I guess that still is the median. So maybe we didn't have to calculate it like that. Maybe it could be something else. Maybe we didn't have to find the average after all. Let's trace back. Let's see if we can approach this in a different method. Trial and error looks like it might just be even quicker than everything else. I've got 11, I've got 11, I've got 13, and I've got two numbers that need to get to 64. Already those two numbers, those three numbers, 11 plus 13, comes to 35, right? So 35 plus these two numbers is equal 64. Okay, so what's 64 minus 35? 29. That'll be 29. So what two numbers add to 29? 14 and 15. That looks good. And it has to be greater than 13. And it can't be 13. So the answer looks good. Definitely, that was the sequence that we had. So all good there. Answer we're looking for is going to be. Write your answer in order from youngest to oldest. So that's going to be 11, 11, 13, 14, 15. It adds up to 64. That's still my median. It's still the middle value, right? We don't have to average it, okay, to find it. But we use the average to get it, hypothetically, right? Trial and error seem like a quicker way to get there. And we just have to double check what's 11 plus 11 plus 13 plus 14 plus 15, 64. So that's correct, and it's true. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Question number 8. Question number 8, we've got 1, 11, 12, 23 in the top row. Okay. And then at the bottom, we got the same number 1 here, but we got a different number over here. This is going up by 10, this is going up by 1, and this is going up by 11. The overall jump is plus 22. Overall jump is plus 24. Just an analysis. Maybe we don't even need that. Alright, just looking at patterns, trying to find it before we read the question. No zeros are used to complete the first 4 box. Complete the second 4 box. So I'm assuming that is the first 4 box. No zeros are used. So what would the second 4 box look like? And is there something that we need to know here? What's 1 plus 11, 13 plus 12? What's 11 plus 12? That's 23. those two numbers add up to 23. Does that mean that these two numbers have to add up to 25? Seems like it. 1 plus 11 equals 12. 12 plus 11 plus 12 equals 13. How would we get to 25? Instead of 23? Let's just try a random number. Let's say we try 12. 1 plus 12 gets you 13. 12 plus 13, 25. That looks right. So the answer should be 12 and 13. Following the same pattern. 1 plus 11 is 12. 11 plus 12 is 23. 1 plus 12 is 13. 13 plus 12 is going to be 25. All right. So I think we should go 12 and 13. All right. All right, here's another set of questions now. All right, guys. Let's go through these ones now. Continuing. So, a square piece of paper. Let's go to question number 10 on the side. A square piece of paper ABCD has side length of 10. So that means 10 centimeters on either side. Point A, all right, which is obviously going to be, let's say this is A in order B, C, and D. Now, point A is folded onto point C. Okay, so what does that mean? That means that we're taking that over that. It's going to end up in a triangle. And because it's a square, it's going to be both sides equal, meaning that these two angles will be 45 degrees. Because those two sides are equal, right? At 10. But now the one is on top of the other, right? So there's another layer on top of the other one. Something like that. Okay, so we folded it. Now, what is the new perimeter of this figure, it says? Well, perimeter, remember, is the outside of this shape. And over here, we have what is known as a hypotenuse. And a hypotenuse can be found using Pythagoras theorem. And Pythagoras theorem says, if you take the two shorter sides squared, it will equal the longest side squared. So that comes to 100 plus 100, which is equal to 8 squared. So 200 equals 8 squared. And so we square root both sides to get that hypotenuse, to get the perimeter. And when we square root 200, let's leave it as in third form for now, the perimeter is going to be given by the sum of that. So the perimeter will be given by the square root of 200 plus 10 plus 10. And so we put that on the calculator. So we're going to go square root of 200 plus 10 plus 10 comes to 34.14. Centimeters. All right, question number 11. A times B equals to 42. Okay. So therefore, I can say B is equal to 42 divided by A. B times C is equal to 28. So therefore, I can say B is equal to 28 divided by C. So these two are equal. So 42 over A is equal to 28 over C. And so if I bring one of them the other way, if I go C over 28 or A over 42, it will equal C over 28. And so A will equal 42C over 28. But at the same time, this last equation says A is equal to 24 over C. So we can equate those two. And so 24 over C is equal to 42C over 28. And 28 times 24, if I multiply this way, becomes 672. Multiply C this way, I get 42C squared. Dividing by 42 on both sides, taking 672 and dividing it by 42 gets me 16. So C squared equals 16, square root both sides, C equals to 4. They're whole numbers, right? C can also equal -4. That's also a possibility because it's a square root, right? But then all the others could be negative as well. So let's see. So let's find A plus B plus C. So now we know what C is equal to 4. Let's put 4 back in one of the equations to get C. So if I put 4 in here, I will get 7. So we got A equals to something. Okay, B equals to 7. C equals to 4. If I put 4 in here, A equals to 6. Let's test it. 6 times 7, 42. 7 times 4, 28. 4 times 6, 24. Perfect. If it was -4, then C will equal -4, B will equal -7, and A will equal -6. Does this still work? Let's check. Negative times negative is a positive. Negative times a negative is a positive. And negative times a negative is a positive. So we have two possible answers that A, B, and C can be. Yep. All right. That takes us to question number 12. All right, question number 12. We have the following. So we've got 1009 plus 1010 are two consecutive numbers. We know it. And they add to 2019. Find another set of consecutive whole numbers that add to 2019. That's interesting. So x plus 1, because it's the next number, equals 2019. So 2x, if we subtract it, this becomes 2018. If we divide it by 2 on both sides, this becomes 1009, which is going to be there. So 1009 are two consecutive whole numbers that add to 2019. If we find another set of consecutive whole numbers that add to 2019, is that possible? It says set. Does that mean they want 2 or 3? And if we did have to use 3, then we change the equation, right? X plus x plus 1 plus x plus 2 equals 2019. Remember, that's the first number, second number, third number. Consecutive, one more than the other. 3x plus 3 equals 2019. And so 3x equals 2019 minus 3 is 2016. And so we divide by 3 on both sides. And so we get 3 goes into 20 with 6 times, remainder 2, 3 goes into 21, 7 times, 3 goes into 6, 2 times. So 672 is what x can be. So if x is equal to 672, x plus 1 is 673, and x plus 2 is 674. So we take 672 plus 673 plus 674. That comes to 2019. All right. Okay, let's have a look at question 13 now. Okay. There are 32 students in class 5. Okay, looks like it's got to do with this picture. What is the attendance rate? Okay, on Monday, we've got boys and girls, right? 32 students in a class. What is the attendance rate? Let's see if we can get some values on these. This looks like 11 and 13. So on Monday, we got 24. On Tuesday, it looks like 15 and 14. So 15 and 14 is 29. And then Wednesday is 9 and 17. 17 plus 9 is 26. Thursday, we've got 15 and 12, so 27. And then after that, third Friday, that looks like it's halfway between, it's going to be 11, and that looks like 12 slash 23. What is the attendance rate, it says? Well, that's the attendance for each day. So maybe a rate would be attendance per day. And how would we get that? We find the average, right? 24 plus 29 plus 26 plus 27 plus 23 divided by 5. Let's do this without a calculator for the fun of it. 4 plus 9 is 13 plus 6 is 19 plus 7 is 26 plus 3. 26 plus 3 is 29. And then we got 20, 20, 20, 20, 20, which is 100. So we got 129 over 5, and that's going to be the attendance rate. If we use short division, 5 goes into 129, 5 goes into 1, it can't, 5 goes into 12, 2 times, remainder 2, 5 goes into 29, 5 times, remainder 4 out of 5. So 25 and 4/5, which is 25.8. And that would be the attendance per day. So 24 plus 29 plus 26 plus 27 plus 23 divided by 5 is good. And that's the last question.